There was a model here then, which still exists here, which this institution doesn't do the way they could do then. I've been lucky. Lots of things have fallen into place of right people.
I don't know Lou Brown.
So we had,
I don't know the name.
well, we had a model here for summer courses called Summer Institutes. And the Summer Institute was a model where you run a course for 5 consecutive days, all day. You could then go off budget, bring in outside speakers if you wanted. And we, enrollment, regular enrollment, I got paid as far as me, I got paid as an instructor for the course, so I graded papers and so on. Okay, I got three credits. All right. So the dean, the model then, my dean then was, I was associate dean, and she was a wonderful, wonderful dean. I still speak to her, she's still around, but she was a real dynamo. But the model then was bring it, and I went to her and I said, I want to do a summer institute on education of kids with severe disabilities. What do I bring in? She says, bring in the best. So I knew who these people. Well, but here's how we would do it. You would set up a model for 5 days. So you might have, I don't think we had 5 speakers come in from all out of town. You could, but we would have, maybe we'd have a couple of local people, a couple of 5 people. You literally would fly them in, put them up in a hotel. Right? So the first year I remember doing this, Lou Brown was the god at the University of Wisconsin. I mean, if anyone who knows severe disabilities, talk about Lou Brown, they will know. He was a god. Okay. Hello, Dr. Brown. This is Dr. Mittler. I'm a new faculty member at LIU Post. Would you want to come one day? We're doing a course on severe disability this summer. We'll pay you and bring you in, put you up. He says, well, I might come. Instead of flying me in, would you pay if I drive in mileage? I said, I'll find out. And it's okay if you don't put me up. I could stay. I have some. Okay, sure. And we'll pay you whatever, $500. He said, okay, I'll be there. All right. Pick up the phone. Call other names in severe disabilities. But here's what would happen. Here's what would happen. I've been telling every damn dean since then what they should be doing to tell the then things of the world who are young faculty what to do. Okay. So Lou Brown, it turned out, was visiting his father in Jersey City anyway, I didn't know that, so he was coming. But if he wasn't doing that, if he was coming to Long Island, I would meet him at the airport. I have a graduate assistant meet him at the airport. Right? He would come in. I would go to dinner with Lou Brown. We'd talk over dinner. Right? I'd pick him up the next morning. We might stop for breakfast. We'd take a break. We'd go to lunch. Right? I got to know him, he got to know me. What would then happen? I'd go to a conference, and he was the god, and I was a nothing, and he'd say, Joel, come here, put his arm around me. I want you to meet, this one. I want you to meet that one. What a wonderful model that is.
Mm-hmm. No longer a name on a paper.
And I got to know them. And he'd call you up and he says, oh, well, we're doing this project together. Now, here's the rub on it. Yeah, we ran a budget. Let's be clear about it. There's a business here. We ran a budget, so it would cost for expenses. My salary, flying him in, all the stipends we had to pay, and the meals, and even then, I mean, yeah, they once gave some chairman a lot of crap when he bought a $300 bottle of wine. I mean.
That's excessive.
No, that was anyway. No. So they come up with a budget of $15,000 for the course. The university would say, the dean would say, she worked with them. All right, $15,000. You got. Our goal is 3 times that. Bring in $45,000 in tuition. $45,000 in tuition. Divide that by $3,000 a course of tuition. We're going to have to bring in 30 students.
Okay.
Okay. I would then market it once I had to look for 30 students. Sometimes if they got twice as much, they were okay. Once they made money, they were okay with it. Right? It was a win-win-win-win. Everyone won. University won. Oh, excuse me. And then the field says, oh, Post is bringing in Lou Brown. Those are people who knew. And go, oh, Lou Brown. Some people would come, oh, I just want to hear Lou Brown. And so on. So we win, field wins, our students win, they get 3 credits win, but more of I win, because I'm hanging out with the gods. Later on in technology, I brought in people who were friends, because by then I was, and even then we continued. But then they called me up one year. They said, "Well, we're now putting we now have a $35 a day stipend for food and drink." I called back. I picked up the phone. And I said, "Cancel the course. I'm not doing it for $35. I can't bring in people and for $35." And this is what they said. "We'll get back to you next day. It doesn't apply to you." I said, "Fine." And the truth is, since these were friends, I would have paid for them out of my own pocket. I would have bought them dinner. No one knows that, but I never would tell them that. But it was a win-win-win-win. God, what a wonderful model. Right? There was no downside to it. You had the most cutting-edge ideas from the best people, but the interpersonal context. What a great model. I don't know if you can do it now.
Yeah, I wish we could have that luxury.
You mentioned like you said it took you a while to find out, to know what you're good at. Like you say your strength is the people person, right? When did you find out? Like when did you realize, okay, that's me?
Last night my wife told me that.
Just before today.
You know, I don't know that. I think it's in retrospect when you look around, and no seriousness, when I realize my scholarship hasn't been, I just haven't done it. I think I could have done it. And I think it's only in retrospect when I look at it and say, but how do I know the McMillan, Dan and John Lloyd, and how do I know these people? How do I know Doug Fuchs in our field? How do I know these? And I know them because I'm able to interact with them. And I said, then that must be what I do. That must be, I guess that's the only way, that's what I do.
How did you feel when you first started reach out to the people? You said you were nobody, they were like God.
Yeah.
Did you feel like nervous? Or?
Of course, of course. But you know what you find out? Not all of them. There are some, pardon the term, assholes in the group. There are some people out there who are really not that. But most of them,
the names to me.
most of them are nice people.
I actually agree. Yeah.
I mean, I've met more difficult people here who have not been accomplished, who I would not want to, they're since retired. But some of these people, they're wonderful people.
I just had that conversation with somebody else. Some of the most accomplished people in the field are the most humble people.
That's right.
Very human.
I went to a job interview a while ago, and somebody said, "So you came out of UVA, huh?
Yeah.
So you worked with so and so.
Yeah.
What? How's Kaufman? He seems so pompous. He's so full of himself." And I said, "You know what? In the classroom, he wasn't. I don't know what you've experienced. I don't know what your interaction with him has been like." I said, "But I was a student, and in the classroom, he never talked about how accomplished he was. In fact, I can tell you, as a student, I knew very little about how accomplished he was until I was leaving UVA, and people started saying, 'Oh,
now,
you're from UVA.'"
Yeah, that's right. Kim, the truth is, and I think we all know this because we're in this world, I know some people who are fine. I like them. I see them once or twice a year at CEC. We've had, if they've done, some well-known people have been to New York, had it for a sabbatical, and my wife and I had dinner with them. I mean, I'm able to schmooze fairly well. In their department, other people who I know in the department will say they're horrible in the department. And that's possible internally on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
Maybe they are horrible. But by and large, I'll go back. Lou Brown taught me something a long, long time ago. Boy, talk about this guy was king of the severe disabilities. Every article he would publish, he would have a list of 8 authors. Because he would be the first author, and then he'd have 1 or 2 or 3 other, I guess, faculty, junior faculty he worked with, and then he would have doc students. He made sure their names were on every article. And I said, what a nice generosity, a generous notion that is. That he's willing to extend his name to connect with them so that they start having a publishing.
Nice.
What? Well, other people say, no, I wrote it, and so on. You know? So, you know, I mean, they're nice people, and God bless them that they are, and they should be. But most of the people, I mean, I've come across most of them, I find, at least in my interactions with them, they are that way. And so on, and again, I've learned also that I don't know when that thing, but I certainly know humor works for me. I may use it excessively. I may get myself in a little trouble, you know, sometimes. You know, I had a recent conversation with a financial person, and I used something humorous. It wasn't off color, but he was like shocked that in the middle I would. To me, it was a light line. It was just a silly line. But it was like he said, you always do that, don't you? And I wanted to say, yeah, I always do that. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, maybe you're a little.
And studies, which kind of goes back to the conference I attended with you. Students like humor. It works in the classroom.
Oh, it does.
I love it. I grew up with a bunch of brothers. I'm used to off-color humor as long as it's not inappropriate in a public setting. I'm used to that. You know, for me, the articles that I read and the person that I finally met that I liked, and like I grew up in LA. You know, like we'd be out and about and you'd see a movie star, you'd see a singer, you'd see a basketball player, and that has never affected me. For me, it was meeting authors, and then somebody in the field that I enjoyed meeting, Steve Graham.
I don't know him. Okay.
He's very humble and very he's also actually pretty good with people skills. And then you know Mashal Perry and Scruggs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are wonderful. They just retired this year. You know that.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, they're at George Mason. Yeah, they just both. There was a reception at George Mason.
Okay.
At the LD actually that John Lloyd was running. Yeah, they were wonderful. What nice people.
Yeah,
When you meet them, absolutely.
And I like Fuchs and Fuchs. I actually don't think this is off camera, right? I think Doug Fuchs is an excellent researcher. I don't think he's a good presenter. When I saw
I agree with that.
When I was like,
I agree.
The first time I saw him in person after reading tons and tons of paper, I said, oh my God, the man can barely speak.
Well, listen, I'm not shy about, I'm also not shy about saying things if I think, not critically, but you know, years ago I got invited to an early a federal meeting of research. It was research to practice. They were doing all the federal grants in special ed. Were they all technology related? Maybe, but maybe not. Doesn't matter. With presenting, Marty Kaufman, who was brilliant. He was head of research for the government. He was struggling with Alzheimer's now, unfortunately, but the most brilliant guy I've ever met, and everyone will tell you that. And he was in charge. And the researchers would come in. Now, if you know the research system, they would come in and they would present their data. First of all, they didn't put it on, this was early technology, but they didn't put it on presentation that you could see it.
Right.
They would take a graph from a publication that was about this big and stick it up there. No one could even see it. Right? Their presentations were, and this was the practice. And so I go to Marty, I said, Marty, I mean, here I was, I'm not a researcher, but I said, Marty, I said, you're giving all this money, and these folks aren't giving it out in a way that's responsible.
Right.
And I found out why, and you realize why. They were asked to present at the end of the research cycle. They got their money. They were, the more conversation in the hallway was about the next round. The next round, because they are all having to continue their research. So they couldn't give a crap about what they just finished. They weren't into dissemination. Not all, though. Do you know Ted Hasselbring? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful researcher at Vanderbilt. Smart guy. He took wonderful software. Read 180. No, Read 180. Okay. That's his product. He used to come here and do presentations of his research in Florida on Read 180. Scholastic bought it from Vanderbilt, and he's made the nicest guy. I've been to his home. We've spent weekends together. Nicest guy in the world. With all the money, but the nicest person. They're just good, nice people, and that's how most of my fun.
That counts. I think that counts.
You don't know your department. Your department had some of the most difficult people. Most difficult. Just not. They weren't nice. I don't care whether you don't agree with me. They weren't nice.
They seem unhappy, I think.
Well, you know what? But here's the point. That,
yeah, like the department meetings.
They weren't accomplished.
Yeah.
They weren't that they were scholarly.
Yeah.
They hadn't. It wasn't that. Oh, look at my scholarship record. I mean, I hear too much. Around here we don't have a lot of that. But but they weren't accomplished. But be decent. Be a nice person.
Yeah.
Where I am now, it's a
same. Let's talk about the culture. I think it's the higher education culture. Is this common? Since I haven't been to that many universities.
Well, again, all I know is that some of the best people Now, maybe the best people are also the people who are more actively engaged in doing this stuff publicly, and they're involved in the leadership of CEC, so I get to know them, and that's how I got to know a lot of people. I've been going to CEC meetings, I've been on task forces that redesign the thing. I got to know Mike Gerber, you know Mike Gerber's work? Oh, I love the guy. Oh,
Yeah, Santa Barbara.
Oh, but he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, Mike. But you know what? When I see him, I hug him. And we schmooze, and we, yeah,
He's got a lot to hug.
yeah, it's a lot to hug. We schmooze, and we're buddies. And do I think, can I come close to his level of intelligence? Absolutely not. But I can talk with him and hang with him.
I don't think that's the case. I think what they say is so true. Where you end up, the university you end up in, determines a lot of then your future drive.
Yeah.
So, you know, you keep going back to Denting being this self-motivator, and I think that is very much her. But overall is at LIU, where I am, we're teaching based. We teach 4-4. And I spoke to Denting about this.